I hope you guys like that. I sat there for 30 minutes studying a voice to do that. But anyways, Absa TV has done a lot of Incredibles videos because I seen when I was in work and I was actually getting on with work that I kept seeing Incredibles videos popping up on her channels. You did 2 today, didn't you? Have you just recorded another one?
I think I've got.
How many are uploaded? Are you uploading them now?
Uploaded.
Are you uploading them now?
No, not now.
Okay.
I'll do them in a bit.
But yeah, she's uploaded 2 videos to her channel. She's created 3 more videos. You've been having a lot of fun with it. I know you said that you've got 15 trophies so far, 14 of them being bronze and 1 of them being a silver trophy. Was just explaining to you obviously about the different values of the trophies. So like obviously a platinum trophy is the best trophy. That's essentially when you 100% a game. A gold trophy is for doing something really hard. A silver trophy is also for doing something hard. And a bronze trophy is normally for like achieving something throughout the game and whatever else.
We've unlocked Alaska Girl.
Shout out to Jelio, what's good? Who you unlocked? Elastic Girl.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
Jack.
So who was that character that you unlocked as well when you started? You started off. You are fast, Jelio. You are, but you didn't beat Naps though. Naps is on record time. Naps is on record time when it comes to turning up to my streams. Like, trust. It's normally I say this is the order when it comes to the streams, right? It's Naps, then it's Jelio, and then it's Stanley. That's normally the 3 people that I kind of not expect, but I know that you will turn up at some point because you support this channel, and I appreciate it.
Oh, Gemma Jack.
You unlocked Gemma Jack.
That's what they gave me with the code thing.
Oh, right, so you unlocked a character called Gemma Jack. Oh, that's cool. My son, Jelio. Yeah, so anyways, shout out to Naps. I used in the video earlier on. There's a couple other people that popped in as well. This is a FMV. So FMV means full movie video or full movie video game, which is essentially when you're watching scenes that have been acted out by people in real life and you get to change the scenario of how the story leads. This game is quite cool. So Absa TV did you see me play this earlier on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can ask any question I want. Okay? My manager Naps, yeah, and I'm your ghostwriter, so don't forget it, Jelio. So I'm gonna do something different this time. Naps was here, so I let him influence some of the answers and questions of what I asked a couple of the people. So, Jelio, I know you haven't seen this, and whoever the 3rd person is in this video, Mariana is fine. Yeah, you got a thing for her, ain't you? What was I gonna say? I will let you ask questions. But don't use slang terminology, because I asked a question earlier on where Naps asked me to ask her, does she know that she's Peg? And I asked her something along them lines with like a little comedic twist to it. Yo, I'll be back. Gotta go. Alright, man. See you in a bit. Peace. But yeah, if you want to ask a question, write it in the comment section. I'll be frequently looking at the chat and I will ask the questions. Just don't use slang terminology because the game just doesn't understand. Because there's been a couple of times where I've said stuff to them and they've just gone, okay. And I've said something in a slang terminology where I've been slewing them or whatever, and they just basically have just gone, yep, okay. And I know they're nuts. Also with this game, you get to ask a series of questions. You also have notes that you can refer to. You can also press for hints. So as you can see that skull sort of item on the screen just over in for you guys it would be down in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. The top button is to answer a question. The right button on the directional pad is for notes. Left shows you a conversation that you've already been through. And the bottom button is essentially what is like a hint. By pressing L1 or R1, it cycles through the patients that you have, and you can ask them different questions. We've essentially taken up the role of a psychiatrist who's taken on all of these patients that were previously assigned to a different doctor, a psychiatrist should I say, but he was murdered. Now, all of these lots so far have just said kind of messed up things about him, like he was controlling, he was messed up, he got worse at the end. And I guess you've got to try and piece and puzzle together what actually happened, who actually killed him, how he died, was this guy a good guy, was he a bad guy, what was his practices like, you know, work out his mind. And through working out his mind, I guess you get to work out if these people are sane or not. Because I was looking at some of these trophies, and some of the trophies were like achieve an insanity point, achieve 5 insanity points, find out the truth. What was it? What was the other one? I'm sure there was another one that was like 5 endings or something like that. So there are a few different options that I'm gonna have to obviously choose in order to complete this. I still haven't actually. I've completed the late shift, but I have got 1 ending left to get. So I need to go and replay that back at some point. Right, let's get into this. So, let me think. If anybody wants to ask a question, put it in the comment section, and when I see it, I will ask that question. How do you feel not going to the beach?
I haven't been back to the beach since our last session. Kind of missed it.
Why
You
have
do
you missed
something
the
a
beach?
lot, you're gonna miss it. I suspect I'll go back there soon, but it's helped with the blackouts.
Okay. Why am I better behaved? Oh, she said this about... She was comparing you to the doctor who was previously murdered.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients. That's not good behavior.
Ask her if she is subscribed to you. I'll ask her now. I know exactly what the next question is going to be.
No idea. Is that a dance move?
She dissed me like that. I asked her if she'd subscribed to my YouTube channel and she said, is that a dance move? Ah. Nah.
No idea.
What do you mean no idea? Actually, did you like the video?
Don't know. It's cold in here.
I'm gonna know what. I'm gonna say something so cheesy. Yo, 079 me.
Clueless.
Clueless. Let me think. Let me think of an R&B song. We'll try and woo her. Should we try and woo her? Do some wooing. Let's see if I can woo. Let's see if I can woo Mariana. Ask if she's an alien.
Sorry, no. I think your button's undone.
You got me to ask her about aliens and she's staring at his wang. Let's see if she knows some T-Pain. Armstrong, don't you get me? Got me doing things I'd never do if you ain't been. I'm telling you. Right. I've literally just writ out one of the lines of T-Pain, I'm sprung. If this doesn't woo her, then I don't know what does.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
See all that effort man put in then. Damn.
I guess it was a couple of days before Valentine's Day. It
Crushed.
wasn't a date or anything. I
Crushed,
noticed in
man.
our sessions
Crushed.
that he'd been acting a little strange. He just didn't seem right.
I'm gonna have to think of another
I wanted
R&B
to find
tune
out
to
what was
woo her.
wrong.
Meet me at the crossroads. I gotta see that, yeah.
Blazing Squad.
No, you're thinking of the shit remix. I'm on about the original. Blazing Squad. Blazing Squad. No, I'm on about the original. Meet me at the cross. Oh, I remember that one. And I'm so sick of love songs, so sad of tears. Yes, bro. Let's do this. You should let me love you. I'm gonna put that one. I wanna make love in the club. Oh, I can't even remember the lyrics of that one. That one was that cheesy. I just remember, what was Young Jeezy's bit? You know, I'm on sight. I'm on trouble. It's down tonight. Definitely. No, he says something like, in the club or on the floor. Do you wanna... Oh, do you know what tune used to annoy me back in the day? I'm trying to not swear too much. Do you remember that tune with Rihanna? I'm so hard. Yeah. That shit used to piss me off. Trust. Or Lady Gaga. Pop, 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 poker face, pop, pop, poker face. No. Do you remember what you say? Do what you say. No, you did well.
An older woman. Guess
Do what
that's
you
how
say,
he
what
liked
you
them.
say, what you say. I was so wrong for so long, only drinking of myself. And I was caught up. So, I don't even know the rest.
I have a recurring dream. Where I feel
Do you know,
something
I remember a tune that was
beautiful
banging. What was that tune?
in the sea.
And I feel like money
But I don't
is
know
attracted
yet,
to
Doctor.
me.
Let's wait a while before I tell you my most
I'm go funny,
intimate secrets.
cause I'm flying like a bee.
Sorry to cut in,
Man, I got them all
Doctor. I've just
buzzing,
had a phone call from a solicitor. Ben's trying to sue us for nervous shock. Should I go and see him to talk it out, or should I find a solicitor
and
to
all that
represent
shit.
us? Sorry to be pushy, I just think we should act quickly before it's too late. Well, just let me know.
Wouldn't you like to know? Is our session up now?
Does she? I'll ask her now.
Nope.
Look at her eyes! Did you see her eyes then? Did you see the deception in her eyes? Fam, she's a liar. I know what I'm gonna ask. Hold on, I'll read your comment now.
I don't know.
What? Bro, I just said, I seen you on Pornhub.com. Look at her. In the words of Yoda, yeah? Feisty one you are.
Sorry, say that again. Nope.
Well, you do a good job acting. You do a very good job acting.
Some girls say that they're washing their hair when they don't want to go out, but I was genuinely washing my hair. Do you think my hair's pretty, Doctor?
Something weird just popped into my head. Do you want to eat cheese in my backyard?
Sorry, say that again.
Ah, no, bro.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
I give you my analysis of her.
I don't know.
Well, I'm the psychiatrist, yeah? And my diagnosis of you is you're
People
clapped.
are quick to put labels on everything. I suppose Dr. Dekker was more than just a therapist to me. We had a lot of things in common, but we weren't seeing each other.
Was you playing hide the sausage?
sorry, no. I think your button's undone.
Bro, man just said, did you play hide the sausage? And then she's talking about fucking... You know what I mean? This one, you know. She didn't bat the ting like Jetty. Nah, she didn't, bro. She didn't.
I'm insecure, Doctor. Isn't it obvious?
Nah, you're a succubus. That's what you are. Hold tight, the man who know what a succubus is. Yeah.
It's such a mess.
Moving in the right direction.
Thank you.
Where's that direction? Home.
I've danced around in my living room, but no clubs since last time. I like dancing around in my underwear. Sometimes less.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't know. It's cold in here.
You know what I mean? Fucking hell. And now she's going, it's cold in here. I'm just gonna say, is it warm in your flat? Is it warm in your flat?
Clueless.
What is going on with it?
I'm not seeing anyone at the moment. Are you offering, Doctor?
Wait. Fam, what do you reckon? I'll let you make the choice. You know what I mean? Quick time. Then gotta move quick time. Movie length. I just got a trophy and I didn't do anything. You offering, fam. 100.
Well, you have my number, Doctor.
Mind
and my
games.
address.
Yo.
I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together, if you want to.
Jesus Christ. I can't even ask any more questions.
No idea.
Oh, I didn't put a space. Right. This guy is mad. Did I watch that footage? Oh, I watched it earlier. Ellen. Oh, this is the crazy, what was it? She says, no, not support worker. She works at a community, no, she works in a care home. She's killing the
I had a
residents.
session with Dr. Dekker on Valentine's Day. 3 o'clock, I think. Just a few hours later, he was... I still can't get over it.
There's something about her. She's very suspect.
Actually, I had a hot date. It wasn't anything serious, just some guy I know. But it was a nice date, different to what I'm used to.
Different house, so.
It was very traditional, old-fashioned, you know? Dinner at a nice restaurant. Then we went for a little walk along the pier. Held hands, had a bit of a kiss. Then he called a cab, and I went home, alone.
Her reaction, though, afterwards, that spells differently.
I think it was about 11 when I left Max. I'm sure you could check with the taxi company if you really wanted to. if you think I need an alibi. I haven't had a great day, to be honest. Someone accused me of
Why
stealing
would you
from
say
my
that, though?
patients, which I would never do. Plus, Hilda's getting worse. Hilda's the one I mentioned in our last session. She's dying. I can tell. I need to see her before it's too late.
You missed this last time. She's fucked up. Right? Last time that I was playing this, do you know what she said? She's been lucky enough to be able to be there and watch 15 residents in the care home die, and it's a very special moment. And the amount of... No, you don't understand. The amount of happiness on her face when she said that, to me, spells that even if she isn't the killer of Dr. Dekker, she's fucking mad and she's been killing people, because she was talking about lorazepam, diazepam, and something else, and putting people out of pain, and like she was smiling maliciously every time she said it. And also the other thing, she's mad sus. Also the other thing, when she came here, the reason why she's come to him is on her watch 15 people have died in concession of like 6 months, and the only reason why she was having a good day yesterday when I was doing the stream earlier on, because it goes over day cycles, because I can roll the days over on this, the only reason why she was having a good day is because in that month only one person died on her shift. And then she looked at the camera, she goes, "At the moment," and fucking smiles. I was just like, what the fuck is this game? This game is just nuts. But yeah, she's hella sus.
Help her finish her unfinished business. People who are dying always have things they wish they could do before they go. We leave a lot of loose ends in our lives. We're very messy that way. Hilda wants to see her daughter. She's in Australia, so I'm going to have to use my talent.
What? What's their talent?
I can change my skin. What I look like. I can turn into a patient's loved one.
I can turn into a
I
patient's
just
loved.
hold their hand and ask them to imagine that the person they want to see.
Yeah, she's got
is
mad
sitting
talent for killing.
right here next to them, and I become them. It's how I help them move on.
I'm in her face right now, this looks mad.
That's how I comfort
You'll see in a
them.
second when it changes. Right, this is nuts. Because there was another guy who said he was stuck in Groundhog Day and he has to do one thing different every day, otherwise he can't break the loop. There's another guy who says that he gets 25 hours in a day and he gets an extra hour because for some reason he slows down time, and in that time he catches up on his work and he's a grave digger. Like, this game is fucking nuts. Like, I will say one thing with this game, 100%. This game's pickling my head.
I only shift at work to help my patients. I don't have any interest in using it as a party trick or to deceive anyone.
Well, why would you then bring that up?
This? Well, it started with this. It's a locket. Alice, one of my patients, gave it to me before she died.
Cracked it. What did she say about she could change her skin and all that shit? She's been lying to all these residents and making out like... She's probably been drugging them, lying to these residents, making out to, "I'm your daughter, I'm your son, I'm your mum, I'm your aunt, I'm your wife, I'm your husband, blah, blah, blah." And then they've been signing probably wills over to her, giving their last possessions. Ugh. Disgusting human being. Do you know what? This game has got me. She's a witch, bruv. She's an idiot.
I have a few other things. A watch, a ring. One patient gave me a little china bird. They're not valuable, just trinkets, really.
Why would you say that? Why would you say they're not valuable? Why would you say that? Oh, they're not valuable. They just... I keep getting given all this stuff because of my talent. Huh?
Plus, you're not allowed to take stuff from my residence.
You're not allowed to take stuff from them anyway if they're not right of mind. If she works, yeah. Because at the end of the day, if someone signs, if someone signs something over to you and they're not right of mind, yeah, of course it's abuse. And furthermore, when they were right of mind, they probably had wills and everything in place of what they wanted to do with their money and their estate and their collateral and whatever. And nah, she angers me differently.
Strictly
Trinkets.
speaking, all of the patient's belongings should be passed on to family members after they die. But Alice's son never visited. He didn't care about his mum. Why would he care about some worthless piece of jewellery? It just doesn't feel right to me. What do you think, Doctor? Am I wrong to keep the locket?
So you admit? Ah, you pissing me off differently. So hold on. So because this son or whatever doesn't visit the care home yet, and his mum, or it might be his aunt or whatever, they don't talk, that just gives you the right to just take someone's stuff. Oh, that's disgusting. How can someone do that? I really don't understand. Oh, that's ugh. That's just filth.
Some people are like that though.
No, it's not wrong to keep the locket. Yes, it's wrong to keep the locket. You're damn right.
I don't see the harm. Alice wanted me to have it.
She's dead.
You and Terry and all the other nurses just don't understand.
That you're sick, twisted, and vindictive. And you would... Ugh. That just makes me feel disgusted. Does that not make you feel disgusted? The fact, I know this is a game, but it's just like... Ugh. I wouldn't even want to act that scene, to even say them words out of my mouth. Ugh. You vile person. Who was your date with? How was Dr. Dekker on Valentine's Day? How can you tell when people are dying?
I can sense it, you know? It's like when you're outside and there's a sudden change in the light or the air feels different and you know it's
I've
going
met
to
people
rain.
like that.
It's like that.
I've met people like that.
I always know
I've had
when one of my patients is fading.
I'm not
even
saying some people are
before
like that in
the
real
doctor's
life.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Their
I've met a lot of people like that.
energy changes.
I've come across it.
Sounds
Yeah,
silly when I
why?
put it into words.
Well, yeah.
I sound like my
Nah, I've
mom.
met people like that, man. I've seen... I'm not going to say any names, but I know someone who passed and their family were all going mad over a TV. I used to live on a council estate with them and they were all basically in arms, like shouting at each other over this 50-inch TV that the person that I knew was his nan had left, and they left it to someone who basically didn't speak to her. And because of that, everyone was going fucking nuts about a TV, and I was just like, raw. It's a TV. Right, who accused you of
Of course,
stealing?
it was Terry that accused me of stealing. One of the other nurses. She's actually trying to make out that I'm some kind of HSK.
What's that? What's HSK? I'm gonna research that now. What's a HSK? What is HSK?
I've never heard of that.
What is HSK? What does let's see what that means. I want to know what she meant. I think she's just making up her own terminology to things, because HSK. I've just researched that, and all that's come up is some... I'll tell you exactly what's come up for HSK. This is how I know she's mad. Right. Hanu Shipping Chaos, which translates as the Chinese prophecy test in standardized tests of Chinese a type of Mandarin Chinese language proficiently spoken by Chinese for non-native speakers such as foreign students overseas in China. So she's literally just one of them people who goes on the internet, finds a word and goes, "You're facetious," and someone says, "Explain what that means," and she's like, "It's the name of my cat."
Dr. Dekker seemed fine on Valentine's Day. He seemed to be in a good mood. It didn't seem like anything was bothering him.
Okay.
Healthcare serial killer. You know, like those
Oh,
nurses
healthcare
who
serial
nurse their
killer.
patients.
That's what she said.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it.
That would make
Anyway,
sense.
because a few of my patients have died on me, and some of those patients have given me gifts, Terry thinks it means that I've been killing them off. His name is Max. He's really sweet, but I don't see a future between us. He's not really my type.
Why? Because you can't kill him?
I've known Max a couple of years, but this is the first time we've been on a date. I don't think he's boyfriend material.
Let's have a look at these notes. Ellen, accused of stealing, said it started with the locket. What else have patients given her? Maybe Jaya should check Alina's alibi with the taxi company. I thought Marina said she didn't drink. The plot thickens.
It's the anniversary of my parents' death today. I went to the lake house. I always go to the lake house anyway, but it's also where they died.
Hold on. What? The lake house is where they died? That's where you've got your husband to, because you said your husband's ill. What is with these people? Are weird.
They died of carbon monoxide poisoning. I was staying at a friend's house. Otherwise, I would have died too.
That doesn't sound particularly something that's believable. That sounds like you killed them and went to your friend's house so that you had an alibi. And maybe you've been a serial killer for several years. This is why you're so callous.
The day Dr. Dekker was killed, I had a session with him in the morning at my usual
I quite like
time,
these
11
games,
o'clock.
actually.
That was the last
Make
time
you
I saw
think.
him.
How can you do that? I got something funny to tell you.
What?
Apparently, I
Dr. Dekker made me an offer that I couldn't refuse. I'll be taking it to the grave with me though.
Calling her students
As the
idiots
team.
for wanting a safety net policy, and then
I stood for a while, looking across the water.
and then they had to put the
It's
state
peaceful
in
there.
and that they didn't.
It's the place that makes me feel the most. There was a girl there, by the lake, only about 9 or 10. She was fishing, if you can call it that, with one of those nets on a stick.
Oh God. Do you hear about this? Grandpa's auto.
I don't know why I talked to her.
Featured
She
a
looked
series
sad.
first ever female.
I don't usually talk to children, but she seemed different, special.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't I, Doctor?
So Naps, I've just found out via Absa TV that apparently GTA 6 is going to feature its very first playable female character. So you'll actually be able to play as a female in Grand Theft Auto 6. Which is pretty cool.
I know. I shouldn't have talked to her. It was dangerous. David had been hunting again, and, well, she's seen some of the skins he hung
okay,
around
cool.
the lake house.
Yeah, it can all change. They should implement that in though, because at the end of the day,
Animal
it's not
skins.
exactly very hard for them
David
to make a
hunts
female
and then
avatar.
skins. It's
They
horrible.
done it in Saints Row.
He's not really good
And
at
obviously
either
there are a
job,
lot of like
so
women
the
and
skins still have
you know,
great lumps of bloody
people who probably
carcass
want to play as a
hanging
woman.
off them. I'm sure he'll get better
In
with
GTA?
practice.
But yeah, I heard 2022 anyway. If anything happens
David wasn't there,
with release date wise,
or at least I didn't see him.
exclusively PlayStation
I didn't
5
go
and
inside.
Xbox Series
I
X.
forgot my key, and the spare was missing.
Yeah. Fair enough if you are a woman, but if you're not a woman,
Valentine's
it's a bit
Day
weird.
night, I was at the lake house, watching David, like I always do. I don't know. I suppose she just reminded me of me. I spent a lot of time alone as a child. She said she was trying to catch some strange creatures that she's seen in the water.
Something definitely off about her.
I don't know. Minnows, probably. Everything's strange when you're a child. It was 12 years ago. I was still very young. Too young to be an orphan, anyway. I had to toughen up quickly. Met isn't the right word. David has always been there, in the shadows, on the periphery. I move in very exclusive circles. You tend to see the same faces.
You sound like some Illuminati sort of type.
I don't move in any circles anymore. Those people were my parents' friends, not mine.
You're now moving triangles. Octagons? Rectangles?
Love? Yes,
Hexagons?
I suppose I always will.
Pentagons?
He has trouble with his mental faculties and is getting worse. Yes. I watch him and make sure nothing bad happens.
So what, you just look at him? That's not helping him if you're just staring at
There's
him.
something I want to tell you about. Something else that's wrong with me. I think I've been getting a bit out of control in my hour. When I first got the hour, I was shocked, obviously. It took me a while to work out that everyone was frozen and only I could move, because I live on my own. What would you do, Doctor, if you had an hour where everyone was frozen? Go to a fairground?
Mate, I would not go to a fucking thing.
I dug the grave for Dr. Dekker. I helped carry his coffin to the burial site. Do you know what? It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it. Why do you think that is? Sometimes I see a girl standing behind me. I don't know who it is. I don't know what you're asking me either.
There was an option saying, can you see someone behind me? Then he just said he sometimes sees a girl. So I reckon if I say, can you see someone behind me? He's going to say the girl is stood next to me or behind me.
Possibly a relative of yours. Possibly a patient that died here. I'm not sure. She doesn't normally say anything.
Okay.
No, the coffin wasn't empty. There was something in it. A decoy, I'd imagine.
You smirked, you know more. Why is he tapping?
No, there's something that's lying.
I'm guessing he was buried somewhere else. Or cremated. Somebody, somewhere, didn't want his body going in the ground.
But you're a
Do you want to be
gravedigger.
cremated or buried, Doctor?
You're a gravedigger, and you've been saying that in this extra hour that you get, you were helping to dig people's graves. Now all of a sudden you were carrying a coffin, and when you were carrying it, you felt that the weight wasn't right. So why wouldn't you have spoke up and said about that in your job if you haven't done anything? Furthermore, if this is your psychiatrist, you would have some sort of connection towards this person, so you would feel a way carrying their body, even if you did hate them. The plot thickens.
I spent most of Valentine's Day at the art gallery. Well, the evening part, anyway. They had a display with the theme, Love Conquers All. I didn't get most of the paintings, but they were well done.
That's not us, that's fine.
I did think, what good could I do, other than catch up with work? I did see a woman who was having her purse snatched, so I gave her purse back, and the crook, I placed him on a bus a few blocks away. I have no idea where it was going. She'd never really be able to thank me, so I took another picture.
He's lying because he's smart.
Why would you take pictures? Well, I personally, if they're asking me, I want to be cremated.
That's a good choice, Doctor. Less work for me.
You sizing me up to kill me, are you?
Well, that makes me feel a little better. There's a young mother, divorced, who lives opposite me. Jessica. She's friendly and says hello to me, smiles. I've always wondered what she looks like, naked. So 1 hour, I broke into her house. She was standing in her bedroom. I took it as a sign. I took off her clothes and...
It says 18, by the way.
I took photos of Jessica when she was naked. When I'd stripped her. When she was naked and frozen. I didn't want to have to do it again, to strip her again. So I took pictures to remind myself what she looked like. That's wrong, isn't it, Doctor?
You're fucking absurd, mate. Right there, I beat the fuck out of you right now.
I know. It's that bloody Dr. Dekker. He made me this way. It's all his fault.
Also his fault.
Like I said, I originally presented with depression, and everything was going well for a while. Then Dr. Dekker changed. He was easily distracted during sessions, like he wasn't listening. I'm pretty sure he wasn't listening half the time. I don't think he wanted to know about his patients anymore. But when he did give you advice...
I'm not surprised.
He told me to use my imagination, to make something up, to think something crazy, and it would become real. He told me to think of a way to get more time. So I did. But he pushed me. He made me think it. Yes, I would steal too. And I have stolen. I ran out of milk, so I thought I'd go to the local all-night shop and get some more. I was absolutely intending to pay, but when I got there, everyone was frozen. I thought about leaving money on the counter, but that seemed weird. The cashier would wake and suddenly this money would have appeared from nowhere. But I've stolen bigger things. That was just an example, Doctor. I'm sure you can come up with more exciting things to do than that.
Right. Bryce is looking at something behind me. Bryce asks, what I would do if I had an extra hour. Maybe I suggest things he might have done to gain his trust. I wonder if he's stolen anything, or spied on anyone, or helped anyone. Ellen accused of stealing and said it started with the locket. What have patients given her? So we're starting to acquire...
When you see a painting,
new
it
patient.
stands still. When I see one, it's moving, like a mini film, like little vines. But when there's a person in the painting, when I want them to normally, when I want to really get inside what's going on. But some paintings, I can't stop. I've been working on portraits, at home, outside work. But my paintings aren't so good. Nowhere near Providence standard. I painted a man, Dorian. You know, after Dorian Gray. I wanted to try and capture someone aging, so I divided the face into thirds and painted a boy, his father, and his grandfather in each third. It was hideous. And it started talking to me.
Okay.
We had a display in the gallery based on Love Conquers All, so I had to work. Mainly it was a collection of giant hearts sat on things, but I ran into another patient, Bryce. I'd never really spoken with him before, but he's quite an art critic. I couldn't get rid of him until I finished work at 11. There's actually another guy who takes over on the night shift. I'm not sure if he kept talking to Bryce though. Providence is open 24 hours. There's not much to tell. I knew he was a patient here. I'd seen him in the waiting room a couple of times. He likes art and talking and looking down here instead of up here. They watch me, normally disapprovingly. That I'm ugly, that I have no talent, nothing will become of me. Is that true, Doctor? Because they don't think I know how to appreciate art, because I'm too young. Yes, of course. Otherwise I wouldn't be working in an art gallery. I love art. I love paintings. Like I said, they move for me. I'm Jasmine. I don't come in that often. What happened to Dr. Dekker? Oh. When? How? Sorry, you probably don't know, do you? Ouch. I didn't really know him that well. I'm trying to remember what I was doing on Valentine's Day now. I hear it so many times with that wretched painting. It's in my head. But thank you. He was shy, and then less so. When I told him about my problem, he told me to set fire to it. Yeah, he could have been more specific. I tried to set fire to Providence. At that time, I thought the only way to fix my problem was to set fire to the entire art gallery. Several paintings didn't make it. Luckily, my boss didn't press charges. The police did arrest me, though. My boss, Petra, she's just lovely like that. Providence has gone through some tough times, and I've only been there a year. She invested her life savings, and it's still not making any money. Such a sweet lady. You'd do anything for her. No. Why are you saying that? I don't even know if Petra has insurance. I already ripped up the painting. It screamed as I cut it. And now whenever I close my eyes, I can see it, hear it. I need the tablets, Doctor. I need them. Dr. Dekker told me to burn it. It was nothing to do with Petra. The temazepam, the sleeping tablets.
Temazepam?
The ones you gave me last time.
But he's not Dr. Dekker.
Dr. Dekker gave them to me. They helped. I know it's in my head. I know paintings can't talk.
Right, just gonna have a trophy.
What's wrong with me, Doctor? Why do I do this? Thank you, Doctor. I'll think about that. And the prescription, please?
Okay, I can't ask Jasmine anymore.
Hey you! Thanks for helping me with this grief thing. I'm not sure I have it though. So, should I get a solicitor or shall we try and talk it out with him? I think we should get a solicitor. I know the perfect firm. I'll do it all, don't worry about it. That's why we've got insurance for these kinds of things anyway. But the cheek of it. I don't really know where to start. I feel a bit numb. Maybe we should just talk about him. It hadn't even been a year. He was a quiet, solitary man. A good listener, as I suppose you'd need to be. His confidence did grow as time wore on, but that's what you'd expect after you've fitted in. I mainly miss our chats. He used to work late with me and tell me things about the patients, things that I probably shouldn't have heard, but did. What do you think of the patients? Nah, perhaps you shouldn't say. You can ask me. Go on, I'll tell you what I think. We'd work late together on all sorts of things. He was preoccupied with finding patterns in patients, trying to find some kind of order. Mainly he was searching for a common experience the patients might have had. That's what led them to his office. He'd study everything, even the referral letters. Yes, letters, parking tickets, holiday destinations. You know, I find those referral letters. He was sure there was a pattern in them. Ariana is a special girl. You know, there's something about her that just makes you want to follow her. Maybe that's what a trendsetter looks like. I think Bryce has a lot of misdirected anger. I don't think I like him that much. You know, sometimes when things overrun, he's outside waiting for you, and he stares at me as if he's undressing me with his eyes. You know, he's not the first person that's done that, but still, you know, it feels worse coming from him. Elin seems like a lovely person. I'm not really sure why she's here. Claire seems to be shaken by something. You know, I offer her drinks every time she comes in, but she always refuses them. It's as if she just wants to come in, get her session over with, and then run off to do something else. It's a bit rude, isn't it? Oh, I just want to cuddle Nathan all up. He's such a mess. He's always in the same clothes. You know, he barely talks to me, though. It's the same hello every time. He reminds me of Tom. On Valentine's Day, Dr. Dekker had a session with Claire Castleford at 11 and that nurse, Elin, at 3. Everyone else cancelled. You should see this place Christmas Eve. I was at home though, so I don't actually know who came in. Dr. Dekker did phone and ask me for Nathan's number, which is a bit strange. Tom was a quiet mess, like Nathan. Youngish, in his early 20s. He taught piano, but he did have a strange hobby. Tom liked to base jump. That's basically falling from a huge building or mountain and pulling your parachute before you hit the ground. He started to think he could fly. Dr. Dekker tried to talk him out of it, but Tom had to prove his point. So one day, Tom decided to base jump without a parachute. Can you guess what happened? He did die. He was hit by a rock from further up the mountain. He never got to fly. Nathan thinks he knows what his problem is too, but if he's not careful, he'll get hit by that rock. I wish I'd said goodbye.
Yes, I suppose I've destroyed a few things whilst in the hour. You can be the perfect supervillain. Nobody knows it was you. Because you have to hope, don't you, Doctor? It's only the power of hindsight that made me realize how toxic it all was. And after a point, you go too far to be able to come back anyway.
Sounds like you've already gone too far, Bryce.
Hello again, Doctor. I had a bit of a shaky loop incident, but let's not talk about it. Yesterday, I set fire to Hannah's clothes in the garden. I just wanted the day to move forward. I instantly regretted it. And lo and behold, here we are, a new day. Hannah's clothes are a pile of ashes. I've kept almost all of her stuff as she left it. It's just the clothes. I decided to burn those yesterday, so here I am. Hannah loved clothes. Every season, she'd donate her entire wardrobe to some charity or another, and only buy stuff she loved. I was left with winter. I don't even know what her favourite season was. Does it matter? What's your favourite season, Doctor? Dr. Dekker felt that Hannah was holding me back. The memories of Hannah. In his opinion, I was holding on to the past. So I guess he cursed me. If that's even a thing. Yes, Dr. Dekker cursed me. I don't really want to talk about it, but let's just say I blame him for the way I am. Can you give me some advice, Doctor? I was at Henley Church on Valentine's Day, visiting Hannah's grave. It was the anniversary of her death. Her parents wanted a huge funeral with all the trimmings. Hannah would never have come for it. But it does give me somewhere to visit. I got to write the epitaph. I left Henley Church about 11 o'clock on Valentine's Day. I was talking to an archaeologist who said they'd uncovered some fossils resembling a strange cephalopod-like creature. Strange place to find an octopus, really. What? Do you think I've got something to do with Dr. Dekker's murder? Maybe you should ask your assistant who Dekker saw that day. We walk alone without our angel. I'm not religious, But when I wrote Hannah's epitaph, I knew her parents would want some acknowledgement of the great bearded one. But she was an angel to me. She was an angel to everyone. Yeah, I did get a call from him. He was rambling on about something to do with hypnosis. My mind literally switched off. It must have been good, though, because that was one of those nights when I slept through to the next day. Been alone since Hannah. I can't imagine anyone ever replacing her. Not that I've looked. Do you think I should look for someone else? I've been trying to think how I can get past today. I've come up with a couple of choices. I could set fire to Hannah's photographs. I've got them in Dropbox anyway. But setting fire to the clothes did the trick. Or setting fire to a rocking chair. She sounds like an old lady, but she loved that rocking chair, which I've not sat in since. Which one do you think's best? Photographs it is then. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, fine. I'll try. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for though. Just sign up to Tinder and start swiping. Maybe it's just company I'm missing. Although I don't really want any. If you like summer, you're supposed to be flexible and carefree. You do care, don't you, Doctor? She's dead. Thanks for bringing that up. I like winter. Being snowed in with Hannah. Just the two of us. It's paradise. It's a sea creature, like an octopus. I suppose they find dinosaur bones everywhere. Just because we're on land now doesn't mean millions of years ago this place wasn't at the bottom of an ocean. Yeah, Dr. Dekker and his hypnosis. One of his many therapeutic methods to unravel our problems. I'm not up for it with you, though, if that's what you're thinking.
I'm Lacey Hendricks. So you don't know about me then?
No, I do not. Should I know about you, Lacey?
I was at Henley Church. They had a service that ran right up till midnight. For us less fortunates without a love in their life. Well, now. Do you have someone, Doctor? Do you have a love in your life? Where to start? My next door neighbour in Jobson Hill, where I live, she was murdered. 80, and they diversion burgled her. But she was wise to it and started calling the police. They slit her throat with a bread knife. So I started a neighbourhood watch.
With a bread knife? Do you know how blunt a bread knife is?
You can if you put.
It was me and Agnes.
You can.
Everyone else thought we were
Sounds like she knows a bit too
overreacting.
much about the knife.
They want their throats cut, that's up to them, living in their bubbles.
See, no, just got this thing about throats cut.
Yeah.
Agnes. Poor Agnes.
I don't trust her. You lying.
She went missing, and still is. And that's what people think. But it's not the truth.
So what is the truth then? So you must know that...
It killed them. It looks
It?
normal enough. A smartly dressed, door-to-door saleswoman. I know because I heard my other neighbours shout at her. No Jehovah's! They think anyone knocking is a Jehovah.
I don't know actually. I'll have a look
She said
on
she
my
was selling double
on my phone in
glazing.
a second. There's quite a few though. I think there's like 32 trophies in this game, and I've probably got like 9 or maybe 10 today for these 2 playthroughs. I got a few in this.
I don't know. I didn't answer the door. That's not too now.
I know there was one for playing for 2 hours.
I watched her go to
one was for
Agnes's.
playing for 4 hours. One was for playing for 8 hours. One was for completing the game. One was for asking 100 questions. One was for receiving 100 answers. 200 questions, receiving 200 answers. 400 questions, receiving 400 answers, and there was a load of other ones which were due to certain
I could only see the silhouette.
So
it turned from
there's quite a few different
person
endings
into a
game.
It looked like, I guess you'd call it a Medusa. Snakes for a face. And Agnes just fell to the floor. A few minutes later, the woman left, smiling like the cat that got the cream. That was the end of Agnes. I saw it with my own eyes. What more proof do I need? You're starting to sound like Dr. Dekker. He didn't believe me either.
Then what'd you do, slit his throat?
I didn't have much luck with him, like I said. He didn't believe me. He thought I was having a hallucination caused by the stress of my neighbour being so brutally murdered. Where is Agnes, though? I haven't found her, have they? Have they?
Well, how would he know?
What? That can't be possible. Is that true? Why don't I know about it then? When was this then? Is she alive? Her useless husband is?
I'm getting you to reveal the truth.
Keep him safe. You never know who's going to come knocking on your door. Don't know much about him, other than the fact that he looks at me like I'm 6 foot under every time we meet. He doesn't seem too bothered she's gone missing either. He did at first, when the police were crawling around. But now they've gone, that stopped. If I hadn't seen that thing eat her, I'd...
You'd what? You would have killed her? You would have harmed her? Is that what you were just about to say? Because that's what it was leading towards, but you had to stop yourself in your tracks.
No. He's a weaselly little man who spends far too much time in his garden. It's probably like the National Trust back there. The constant digging and building, pruning and sawing.
This woman has got a deep hatred towards men.
What a thing to say! Why would you say that? I kept watching the front door after that saleswoman had left and nothing. She didn't leave, and you can't get out the back since the council sold the garage block. Ron's a gardener, not a killer. Unless...
It was you.
Agnes said Ron was laying the foundations for a new greenhouse. You don't think...
What?
I need to call the police. I need to call them now. But they won't listen to me. I tried to tell them about the monster, but they didn't believe me. They won't believe me about this, I promise you. Please, could you call them, Doctor? Thank you, Doctor. Now give me a pen and I'll write down the details for you. Don't you want to know why Dr. Dekker called me the leech lady? He said that I leech thoughts from people, suck them right out of their heads. And I can put thoughts in there too. I'm not that clever though, am I, Doctor?
She looks like a female Smeagol.
It's not as if I was having an affair with Ron and
Agnes was in the way and needed to disappear. So I made this story up. I mean, what do you think I do for a living anyway? Why did you guess that, Doctor? Because I've got time on my hands. Enough time to worry and protect my neighbours with a neighbourhood watch scheme. You're wrong. But I'll remember that.
I wish I'd said goodbye to Dr. Dekker. It was so sudden. You're here, then gone. He resigned anyway, but that's not the same, is it?
He died. That's the difference, though.
Dr. Dekker resigned shortly before his murder. No, it's sad. But doctors come and go, and only poor Jaya remains. I've got his resignation letter somewhere. You know, I do all the hiring and firing around here. Well, Professor Alderby and the Trust technically do that.
But you like to think you're in control, I see.
Professor Alderby is a trustee. Did I not mention that? She was cuddling him like he was 6. He's 25. Most of the patients are suspects, according to the police. Almost all the patients are referred, and some of them are privates, but Dr. Dekker didn't introduce any of them. So you watched the tapes. Gold star for you. It smashed.
No, it says ask someone else a question. There are currently no questions available. We'll move on to the next one.
I can change my skin.
Then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients.
I had a hot date
We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did
on
phone
Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number.
There was a girl there.
Am I wrong to keep the locket?
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't
He
I?
was preoccupied with finding
Photographs,
patterns.
rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden.
I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it.
Oh, Doctor, you surprised me. Reminds me of Officer Yates. Did I ever mention I had a special friend in the police force? Nah, it's not something you drop politely into a conversation. He's been doing some digging and he's found a couple things. There's a crime scene report that goes into all the gory details and another report that's about a patient you're seeing today, Claire. I'll put them both on the desk for you. And thanks for the grief counselling, by the way. It's really been helping, you know, I'm so glad you're here.
Spiked.
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I can tell you're dying
this
to
is
ask me
good.
about it. Fire away. That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive. He's buried at Henley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him. David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So I fixed him. It was about a week later. I brought David back to life. Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible, but only if you're not buried. He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then, you have a chance at resurrection. Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it. I think reanimation is more an accurate term. Like, I'm an evil necromancer raising things from the dead. I think his brain was already decaying during the week that he was dead. Important bits. So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and trying to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's about it. He's your basic Neanderthal. So I have a problem.
Okay.
I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers, which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me. Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder, to lessen my sentence. Because I'm not a killer, but I can't prove otherwise. You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor? Bryce was a pallbearer for David. He's also a gravedigger, I believe. At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him, I just stabbed him a bit. And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life. Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane? Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult, unless you pay the right people. I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside. Thank you, Doctor. That's all I needed to hear. From you or Dr. Dekker. But Dr. Dekker wouldn't do that for me. He wanted something else. Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my alleged ability. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once, he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl.
What's so special about
He
this
told me
girl?
he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house. Just for me. And he asked me to reanimate her. It was Iris. I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem. So I agreed. I just played along. I was hoping it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real. But he was offering me what I wanted. A temporary insanity diagnosis. It didn't happen. Dr. Dekker called me from his house to cancel. He was furious. He said that Iris had escaped, and he blamed me for it. He said that I must have set her free after he told me about her. I knew it was all lies anyways. He was obviously titillating himself by reprimanding me. He knew I'd never want to speak to Iris again, so I couldn't prove it either way. Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor? Very well. In our next session. A paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon. I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain. Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder? Do you know, Doctor? You tell me. What could possibly explain that? I assure you, David is not a ghost. I've touched him. Since I brought him back, I felt that there was something different about him, something not quite right. I think it's his brain. But how ludicrous that you can bring someone back in the first place. It's like that book, Pet Cemetery. Funnily enough, he does smell of earth, but that's because he spends most of his time out hunting. If David doesn't exist, then that means that I really did kill him. He really is buried, and I really should be going to prison for a very long time. That just doesn't seem right to me. It's more probable that I reanimated him under Dr. Dekker's guidance.
It's more probable that you were
How
basically
astute,
nuts.
Doctor. Yes, I did say I hadn't seen Dr. Dekker outside of our sessions. That wasn't a lie. Our trip to the lake house was made during a session. No, I didn't speak to her. You told me not to. I can be good when I want to be. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught one of the fish. She was holding it in her hands. I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
Hello, Doctor. I've been thinking about our last session, and I just wanted you to know that I'm not a bad person. I know taking naked photographs is wrong, but you don't know what it's like until you face the same temptation. I'm assuming you don't know what it's like. Do you have an extra hour, Doctor? You're playing games with me, Doctor. I was going to tell you what I know about the murder weapon, but now, well, now you just have to go without. I overheard your assistant earlier. I know about that paper spike. It was sharp. What I really wanted to tell you was, there's someone else in my hour. A hooded figure. Watching me and following me. I followed it too. Dr. Dekker frequently used that paper spike on his desk as an example. I'm sure he did it with the other patients too. He'd make me look at it, touch the point to see how sharp it was. He'd tell me that because I think it's sharp, it will hurt me. But if I thought it was nothing, it could pass right through my hand. I don't know who it is. My initial thought was that it was you. That I told you about my affliction and somehow you'd got it too. Now I think maybe it's the military or some organization that wants to use the hour themselves. Maybe it's Dr. Dekker risen from the dead. I need to talk to you about him. I'm surprised I haven't been approached earlier. I mean, my skills in the military. Special ops would be a breeze, wouldn't it? Waltz in past everyone during the midnight hour. Get whatever you want and return to friendly soil. It also makes me think that they might already know all of that, and that they want to get rid of me in case I tell anyone else. Would you do something for me if they get me? would you tell Jessica I love her? She didn't really know me that well, but I did love her. And also, there's a hard drive in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet. Please destroy it. Please, don't look at it. Whatever it is that's following me, it doesn't want to catch me yet. If I move towards it, it runs away. And when I follow it past temptations. A bar brawl, an open till, an open bedroom window. Like it's testing me. I did nothing. I'm not stealing any more. I split the brawl up. I spied on Dr. Dekker, not long before he was murdered. I'm not sure I should tell you what I saw in his basement. I looked in. Watching other people is somehow built into our genes, Doctor. There was an old woman in bed. I went inside. Her bed covers were smoking. I think she'd fallen asleep holding a cigarette. I took the covers and put them in the bath. She'd have died otherwise. And no, I didn't take any pictures.
I was going to say, it's very immersive, because one thing I will say, when I read it wrong earlier on when I was actually reading the description of this game, there isn't 1,600 endings, there's 1,600 replies. So all these different dialogue choices that we've been selecting through.
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer.
That's probably why you can get a trophy for playing it for 8 hours, because
not everybody can
you would have to literally sit here for 8 hours talking to these people to find out.
Occasionally I step in as the
pieces of
funeral
what's going on,
director is
regardless of you
short-shouldered.
asking your own questions as well on top of that.
I do remember her face.
But yeah,
She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed
it's all linking together
agitated.
as well.
Her husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy. I remember because aft port side sprained his ankle. That and he wasn't lifting correctly. I've been feeling uneasy with Dr. Dekker.
What if the
for some
killer is
time.
you? I reckon it is.
I mentioned how he'd changed
I reckon
before.
the killer is either him
So
or
I
the
began
killer is
spying on
the
him at
assistant.
home.
Because the assistant kept
One
saying,
night, the
doctors
basement
come and
door was
go,
open.
but I'm the only
Dekker
person that
was
seems to
returning
remain.
upstairs.
And,
I skipped
you know,
past him.
she's now got
And
a
there she
special
was.
friend in the
A girl.
police. And she knows
It
so
was
much
difficult
about
to
this
tell.
case.
It
And she
was
knows so
dark.
much about all these
And she was
residents.
chained.
Patients, sorry. So, I think it's either... The killer's either me,
I
or the
removed
killer's
the
not
chains,
me.
dressed her,
The killer
and sat her in the
is
police station.
Maya.
There's no evidence, though.
Was
No
her name Maya?
evidence
No,
of what
Jay, I
he'd
think her
done.
name was. Jay, I
But
think
she
her
was
name
free.
But yeah,
I saved
Jay
her.
or it's me,
I'm not evil.
I reckon.
I destroyed evil. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave. He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off. Jessica is a beautiful woman. I've not spied on her since the incident we talked about. I have real feelings for her, Doctor. We've never connected. I put my hand through a rusty nail at work today. It hurt like hell and bled like I'd been shot. I closed my eyes and thought, this isn't happening. The nail is just a worm, and it will wriggle through me. When I looked back, can you guess what I saw? I find using nautical terms to describe the position of pallbearers fitting. Plus, Most of them are 3 sheets to the wind. You know, drunk. When I looked back at my hand, it was healed. Look, see? My hand had healed. The nail had become a worm and was wriggling in my palm. It was like a little miracle, like magic. I shouldn't really say miracle or magic. They're words that Dr. Dekker used when he tried to get you to think things and make them real. But do you think it's real, Doctor? That magic is real? Then so it is. Close your eyes. Imagine you're in a graveyard, looking at the gravestones. One catches your eye, so you take a picture of it, a picture that you now have. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. It's nice you think I'm capable of such basic interaction with females. But I'm still in awe of her, really. I will think about it, though.
Right, we're gonna leave that one here for today anyway. But anyways, thank you once again for watching another episode of GMG News. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on post notifications if you haven't done already. If you have enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you're new here. Subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Big shout out to Nav, shout out to Absent TV, shout out to everybody that has participated in this video. My brain is completely boggled. Big shout out to Jelio. My brain is completely boggled. Like I said, I think it's either the kid is gonna be me or it's gonna be the assistant, just due to the choices that we made. But yeah, we will do more of this tomorrow. I may do one more stream. If I do, I'll send you a message. But yeah, I'll catch you all soon, guys. Keep on smiling and have a lovely night.